a big part of Ping's story is the manufacturing process and how they create clubs and sets of clubs. So to tell that story, we've got Oscar Mortera, Director of Manufacturing Engineering, to give us a look inside, and we're actually in the manufacturing plant right now. The workers are on a break, so there's not a ton of noise going on, but we've been walking around and we've gotten to see the whole process. It's incredible to me to see all the detail and all the people that go into making just one set of clubs. To show people at home, if you could estimate how many hands actually are put on one set of clubs.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. That's one of the things that shocked me when I first came to work here, is how many people are involved with it. I would say, to answer your question, probably divided between kitting, what we call the assembly area, and then consolidation and shipping. There's probably about 20 people that will be touching a set of clubs, whether it's an iron set or wedges or any wood product that we make.
So you mentioned kitting.
Yes.
That's where I wanted to start, because we got to see that over there, and I thought that was so cool that each set, if I were to order a set, I happen to play Ping Iron, so I did order a set at some point.
That's good.
When I order that set, though, it's not like you're pulling a 4-iron off the rack, a 5-iron, and putting them all together.
That's correct.
Can you go through the kitting process? Because that's where it starts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It all starts there. The set is custom spec. Each order tells us exactly, both the printed order, and then we have the electronic virtual order that guides us through that process. But we pull all those head SKUs, and then we weigh each one of them to make sure that they weigh correctly and within spec. And after that, we go through a color code process. We go through an abrading or a surface prep process. We go through a serialization process. So all those things take place there, and then obviously we join or we merge the kitting process of heads with the kitting process of shafts. So we pull those two major components together. At that point, also part of kitting in irons is the ferrule, where we insert that plastic piece that goes into the shaft, and we add another few pieces prior to the assembly and joining those two major pieces together, what I call the head and shaft joint.
And the serial, you mentioned the serial number.
That's
I think that's unique as well,
That
because
is.
we got to see that where they'll actually laser etch the serial number.
That's right.
And that's almost the DNA of that set, right?
That's right.
If I were to break or misplace my 8-iron,
correct.
let's say,
Yeah.
I can give you the serial number and you can recreate the whole club.
That's correct. We have all the specs based on that serial number. So yeah, any customer. In fact, we have customers that call today with sets that have missing clubs. We call those fill-ins that maybe were built 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And as long as we have that inventory on hand, which in many cases we do, we're able to recreate and fill in that unique club and make it part of the set like it was at the very beginning when we first delivered the whole set.
And so you mentioned the kitting process, getting the shaft, the ferrule, the head. Once the set, that work order is together, they never separate, right?
That's correct. They all travel together. It's part of a family. We see them here in trays, but then once they get joined, they all go together. Again, that serial number helps identify them throughout the assembly and the production process, and then they go in sequence, step by step, and they don't separate. So it's good that they travel together, and there's things that the operators do when they build them that they look for. So building them together is actually a good thing from a quality perspective. It helps the operators know what to look for.
You mentioned how many people actually touch a set of clubs. In a world where automation seems like that's the newest thing. Let's get them out quickly. Let's get as many out as we can. Why is it so important that you have such a detailed process with so many people working? And we saw down to the exact spec, the loft and lie. The computers are telling them when and where to put things. Why is that so important?
You're talking about a 1/4 degree in loft and lie. You're talking about less than 1/8 of an inch actually on length. I mean, our specs are very, very, very precise when it comes to the length, the swing weight, all these things. So operators need to be trained to know how to build all these things. And our operators are trained to do irons, woods, and a lot of these processes. And it's a long process to get them to that level of skill. But to basically answer your question is we want quality product that is unique to the player, and just hopefully that'll bring a better game and more enjoyment out of playing golf. So that's why we think it's so important. We think automation and robotics is good, and we actually do have that upstream in our fabrication processes. But that's for repetitive or stock type product. When you go into customization, to make something unique for an individual, that's where you need that human element, and that's where it adds value.
So we talk about the human aspect of things, but you said automation is important, precision is really important, and I think there's a unique part of this when it comes to the weights that you all are using to make sure that everything is dialed in. Can you talk about that process of how you're actually using computers and weights to dial in that process?
Absolutely. So as part of our team here, we not only build the machines, but the software that goes behind the machines. So we want to make them as intuitive as possible for our operators. So one of the things we do is we verify 100% each and every weight before either putting it into as a CTP or on a wedge or a screw-on weight that we use. All those are verified individually at the time of assembly. So that's an aid that the operator has to make sure that if we get a bad weight from a supplier or a damaged weight or something, that we don't inadvertently put that in. So that helps keep the right swing weight and obviously the overall quality and performance of the club.
Yeah, which is obviously hugely important, right? A little bit of weight here and there can change that. I mentioned I got the chance to talk to some of the workers here, and we saw a board over there with, it looked like a loyalty board.
That's right.
Of up to 40 years some of the employees have been here. I think that says a lot about a company as well. We at Carl's Golfland, similarly, we have employees that have been there for that long as well. What do you think that says? That you have people that have been here for 40, 30, 20 years. What does that say about a place like this?
Yeah, it's a great place to work with. I'm very, there's a great family atmosphere. We know each other outside of work many times. We have relationships. We do things. We play golf. We do all the things other than golf too. But over the time, I think what that loyalty not only adds quality, because again, you have all that trained personnel that can do multiple products, but it also brings in that camaraderie and willingness to help each other. So when there's a new employee that comes in and they see that, they're like, hey, this is a place that I can see myself working here long term. And now you have these senior employees that love to invest and train new operators. So there's that camaraderie that really helps. It actually translates into everything that we put into the product. We're very proud to say that we have a very diverse and loyal workforce, and it shows. And then many of the operators too, there's a lot of opportunities that to transfer and move to other positions outside of production. We have loyal production workers that work here 40 years, and one of the things that my job or my team's job is to make sure that as we have an aging workforce too, that we make it ergonomically safe so folks here can work, have a long career just as an operator.
Yeah, I think that says a lot about the quality of the product too. That people that are happy at work,
exactly,
they're probably going to take time and take care into what they're making as well.
That's right. So any steps that we take towards safety and ergonomics improve quality and improve throughput because the operator is more at ease and things just come natural.
Yep. Yeah, we saw how precise everybody is here.
Yeah.
I was talking to some of the workers and I was saying, I think what you're doing, especially with the loft and lie angle on the irons, that machine that they can plug in and it shows them down to, it looked like the 100th of a degree.
Yeah.
I told someone working, I said, I think it would take me all day to do one iron, but it was so cool to see that process of they can't move on until each and every club is exactly right for that customer.
That's correct. So it takes a while. That's probably one of our harder processes to learn and to train, but once you master it, it actually is fun. There's a lot, we get office volunteers throughout the year, and that is actually fun. One of the ones I like doing.
Yeah.
You kind of get some of the stress out of your system by doing it, but it is. You get good at it, and then you actually get there faster. But I would say early on, it takes a while to make sure you bend it to the right specs. Our equipment is very unique. We make it in-house. We can't just go by these loft and lie gauges to tell us what it is that they measure. So we're very proud about how we make our equipment and then all the improvements that we do. So yes, you're right. It's very, very precise as to the angles that we are looking for, and we want to make them, custom to the set. So when we're building a set, we want to make sure that those angles are right. So then you have that gapping between your 4, your 5, your 6 to be precise, and then the player's confident about knowing exactly the distance that they're going to get out of an iron.
The loft and lie, we can see that when we look at the club, but something we can't see that we got to look at here was the tape.
Yeah.
And typically what we'll see is that you'll get a long piece of tape, you stack it on, you roll it around, and you're good. Here, it's different. There's almost a swivel
spiral,
process, spiral, yeah.
And that's also pretty amazing to watch. It's actually easier than it looks, although when you start to learn that process,
I'm sure I could mess it up somehow.
It's pretty clumsy, but it's the operators do it. You know, that's second nature. But it is very unique, I would say, and that's something that Karsten brought, and we've kept doing it, and it's very unique in the industry. We're the only ones doing that, I believe. And the reason why the spiral tape is to prevent overlapping seams. So some grips and some players are more sensitive than others and can feel some of those seams. So I think it's just that comfort and then confidence when you grip a club that you know that you're not going to feel those seams. So the spiral helps with that. So those are some of the unique things that you don't see behind the scenes that happen here. Yeah.
Yeah, the attention to detail, every aspect of the golf club, whether it's the tape underneath the grip or the loft and lie, Ping has put that into their manufacturing process, such a unique aspect of their company.